There's so many things that happen today, and you can't care about all of them. So what is it that you have a gun to your head? What is it that matters to you? To me, what matters is my family and my God. That's it. I like history because it teaches me what's coming next. But the only thing that matters is my soul and my family. So when it comes to the Middle East, I have something else I can look at. And you may disagree with it, but it's important. If you disagree with the Bible, that's fine, whatever. But you have to understand the role it played in history and why this matters. We are connected to Israel. We are wound in so deeply to Israel, and most people don't even know it. The Bible and our own history shows us how, and I'm going to show you just a couple of things tonight. And this is a history that I'm teaching to my own family because too many people no longer care about our history, no longer care about the history of, God. They don't care, and they're trying to change our history to fit an agenda. Biblical times. This is Israel. And Israel was split into two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The southern kingdom was Judah. That had Jerusalem, root Jew, right? The 10 tribes were up here in the north. That's the lost tribes of Israel. Judah remained, and they were cut off from Jerusalem. They started worshiping false idols. They became spiritually bankrupt, and God says in Jeremiah, he's like, you're becoming the whore of the earth. What are you doing? And you're passing it around to all the other nations of the earth. Stop it. And he tells Judah, you tell them to stop it, and you two get along. And they don't. And they're warned. You're going to be taken by the Assyrians, and you're going to be taken into captivity. Well, that's exactly what happened. Judah remained, but the tribes in the north, they were taken, and they went throughout the Assyrian Empire. The kingdom of Judah was not scattered. This is where the term Jew comes from, Judah. Assyria at the time was the most feared nation on earth. Their name was synonymous with atrocity. They skinned prisoners alive. They cut off body parts. They pulled out tongues and eyes. They put piles of skulls on display. So everyone knew, don't screw with us. Here's what I find very fascinating on who they were. When they were finally defeated, they had all of this tribe of Israel as captives. But when they were finally defeated, the Assyrians and the Israelites, they fled, and they went north, and they fled into captivity, or out of captivity, through the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus Mountains are where you hear the word Caucasian, the Caucasus Mountains. What's interesting is the Assyrians, who were very good, meticulous record keepers, and who were just brutal, they settled in Italy and in the Germany area and the Russia area, where fascism comes from. But the Israelites, the lost 10 tribes, they went north, and they started to scatter the other direction, and they went to the coastlines, generally in the area where our pilgrims came from. Judah kept the Torah alive. Those who were taken captive by the Assyrians, Caucasians, over the mountains, and they started to populate the western part of Europe. All of Western civilization is based on the laws of Israel. And our entire history is directly tied to this moment. Our pilgrims thought that they were completing the journey out of captivity from Moses. The Statue of Liberty reflects this. On her base, she's got a broken chain. She's carrying the tablets. She has the rays of light. That's God's light. She's a symbol really of Moses. And she is depicting his descent from Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments. What keeps us solid? The 10 Commandments, the law of God. Okay, that's just one, but I contend these symbols are everywhere. And you can believe them or not, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm talking about me, why I care. Let me show you this. In the, if you're anywhere around the president, you're Air Force One, or you're sitting here in the office, you'll see this flag. And we see this flag sitting behind the president a lot, but nobody really ever looks at this flag and what this flag really means. What's on this flag? And I'm just going to show you a couple things. There's more, and we're going to get into it later. We know about the olive branch for peace and the arrows for war. There's much more to tell about this. There's 13 olives and 13 leaves, the 50 stars around the shield, from many one. But what's this? And what does this have to do? Why would I be telling you this about when we're talking about Israel? Well, when Joseph, from the Bible, when Joseph is with his brothers, he tells his brothers that he had a dream. And he said, I had a dream where the sun, the moon, and the stars all bow down to me. You mean like the sun, the moon, and the stars? That's what this is, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Nobody talks like that. Nobody says the sun, the moon, and the stars unless it's biblical. So is the concept of unity biblical. Out of many, one God. There's strong symbolism with the number 13 being represented everywhere. 13 arrows, 13 stripes, 13 stars, 13 olives, 13, 13, 13. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the 13 colonies. Well, that's what everyone will tell you. And that is one answer. But there is another one that many people believe. 13, what else is 13? 12 disciples surrounding Jesus. But more importantly, I think, the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, there's only 12 tribes, Glenn. That's why you were 13. Except the tribe of Joseph split into Manasseh and Ephraim. And those were in northern Israel. That's the northern kingdom of Israel. That's the 13 tribes. Okay, hogwash. That's all garbage. Okay. You say, that's not what any of these symbols mean on this flag. Okay, that's reasonable. Okay, let me take you to not the presidential seal, let me take you to the Great Seal of the United States. It's the same eagle, right? Except where you have the sun, the moon, and the stars, what replaces it? Well, it's this thing here. I don't even know what that thing is. You don't know what that is? I know, that's pretty hard. It's 13 stars again, but strangely, 13 stars in the shape of the Star of David. Wow, why is that in the shape of Star of David? Well, a couple of reasons. One, Haim Solomon, he was the guy who helped us. We are bound, we owe the people of Israel. Haim Solomon, that's why it's in that triangle. Now, what's this surrounding it? I don't know. Well, when Moses led his people out of Egypt, what did they follow during the day? Oh, cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. That's what this means. By the way, you can find the image on the back of your $1 bill. And if you really think that's a stretch, if you really think, okay, Glenn, that's crazy. Well, you're right. That one was done, and I don't even know when. In the late 1800s is when they finalized this, and then I think it was, I don't know, Wilson or one of them that finally said, okay, we're really going to use this one all the time. So let's go back to the original seal. The one that Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin and John Adams recommended. It wasn't this. It was instead that one. Tell me that one. Moses leading the Israelites across the Red Sea by a pillar of fire. Hello, look at look at the clouds around the fire in the center in exactly the same position as the eagle. Listen to me. The slogan that they wanted to have was opposition to tyranny is obedience to God. Opposition to tyranny, to pharaohs, is obedience to God. They felt Moses was the figurehead of America. We are a nation that is based on Judeo-Christian values and the Bible, period. You might not buy into the olives and the branches and everything else. It's fact. It's fact. But there's no way to deny that the majority of our laws come directly from the Scriptures, right directly from Deuteronomy. And the Bible comes from Judah. Not the northern tribe, the southern. Judah. They were supposed to preserve it, and they did. The people of Jerusalem. We owe our existence in many ways. We owe our laws to them. If Israel goes, if the Bible goes, you need an entirely new way to govern, because ours is nonsense then. And that's exactly what all the powerful on the earth would like. We owe the people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we owe our support and our allegiance. Not blind allegiance, and I'm not talking about putting troops down on the ground. We have to be on not only their side, but God's side.